This is the man that first introduced me to Thailand. We came back here in 2006, and since then we've been back 3 times together. I've been back 6 times, I believe. And I just love Thailand, and the reason is, as we've talked about before, is because of my dad. Tell me about when you were first here in Thailand. What was that all about?
Well, I had 5 months to go in the Army, and my unit in Hawaii was going to Vietnam, and I had a choice because I had less than 6 months. I could either join the unit and go back to Vietnam for a second tour, or they were going to send me somewhere else. And I didn't know where they're going to send me, but where they did send me in the last 4 months was to Thailand, and it was awesome.
Long story short, my dad and I have traveled back and forth to Thailand several times, and we've been wanting to find the spot where he was stationed in Sattahip. There is very little information available online, but then we found this video.
U.S. and Thai officials, along with Navy Civil Engineer Corps officers, studied the entire coastline of Thailand to find the best site. About 100 miles from Bangkok, on the eastern side of the Gulf of Thailand, is the Sattahip Peninsula. Here is where the Royal Thai Navy has its main operating base. And here is where the new complex was built. The other new cargo piers at Sattahip are the ammunition pier. And the movable DeLong Pier, named for its inventor.
The next breakthrough came when I found the criticalpass.com website, which is an archive of old footage from military, and here it was in live motion, DeLong Pier, showing how the bombs were then being unloaded from the ships and then loaded onto trucks where they would then be sent off to be dropped in Vietnam. We were getting closer and closer, but it wasn't until we found this aerial shot where you can see everything. DeLong Pier, the POL port pier, which is down to the right, the T-shaped. There it is, DeLong Pier in the description. The concrete POL, petroleum, oil, and lubricant. And then Camp Vayama. This was the spot, okay? So here's the concrete pier. And then in the bay, see how that little part kind of pokes in a little bit more? I figured that I would find that and this shape on the sort of topographical area using Google Maps. There it is, where it pokes in a little bit more in that bay. And there's that shape, that little boot. Okay, here it is, the POL port, the pier. And if you go back to Google Maps, there it is. It is called the Tung Prong Port. I had found it. Next step, of course, is Google Earth. So now that we know Tung Prong Port, we will just input that in there. And as you zoom in, there it is. Scroll a little to the left, and there we have it. The end of what used to be DeLong Pier. And Camp Vayama, here it is, shown in that aerial shot. If this is the spot, that would mean that if we scrolled over just a little bit more, there it is. Camp Vayama, right next to DeLong Pier. Our investigation had now come to a beautiful conclusion. Now we know where we will be able to go back, return, and find the location that was once DeLong Pier. One more little thing that I should add, because if you know us, you know that we love to eat. So as we put in Tung Prong Port, look what pops up. Plai tua rua Tung Prong. Plai, the end. Tarua is the pier. Tung Prong, so the restaurant at the end of the Tung Prong Pier. Let's go to photos, food and drink. Yes. As you read all of the reviews, they're talking about how it's delicious, tasty, and cheap. And guess what, folks? I like all 3 of those. So we will be going to this restaurant. Look at this fish. Look at it in comparison to this person's hand. Oh, can't wait to get to Sattahip. It's part of the 3 Francs and a Rock tour. We'll see you on the other side.